Oh, first of all, thanks for doing this, Diksha. I really appreciate it, and really appreciate what Smug is doing with like inviting creators like me, builders like me on a public platform. So to tell about myself, so I've been an educator and consultant earlier in my previous avatar. Then subsequently afterwards, I discovered the online world. Then I started creating information graphics, visuals, mind mapping. Started conducting courses online. One led to another. We are here now. I'm actually a full time freelancer and what I would call it as creative consultant. I specifically help other creators, brands to increase their online presence, either on Twitter or on LinkedIn. So that's my short introduction. Oh, definitely, definitely. Uh, so previously, I was doing consulting. Being a serial entrepreneur since 2017. 2017 is when I left my last job. So and the subsequent, I've been usually doing like many people. I've been doing physical training workshops and that's what I've been doing it. And when the pandemic hit, I realized that the physical connections have been lost. And what I realized is that there is more power on online marketing. And that is when I discovered the works of wonderful creative people on Twitter. We might have our own. Twitter is going through its own journey now, but previously in 2020, I found that a lot of creative energy in the place. Even now, there's quite a lot of creative people there, and people are using Twitter as a way to showcase their portfolio of work. So that is one thing. Not only that, subsequently they are also selling their services, and pandemic accelerated the process of connecting with people across the world. Okay, previously either you should be on a freelancing platform or something like that. Now it has actually turned the other way around. You just have to show your work and build the trust, grow an audience, and subsequently you can sell anything. You can sell literally from a product, a 20-page ebook, or even Notion templates. I mean, now a lot of people are doing that, and even like a full-on coaching. I think the biggest ever course I heard of is a $6,000 course, which is conducted completely online by David Perrin. Okay, so this is the power of internet. That is what has happened, and I also wanted a piece of pie, so to say, wanted, and I was posting these visuals, and there came to a point when people started asking me, like, Satya, can you create such visuals for me? Can you write for me? Can you help me manage my social media? Satya, you seem to have good success on social media. Can you help me manage my social media account? I have a blog, but I don't have enough followers on social media. So one led to another, and people started paying me for offering those services. Then I got recruited by like really high profile tech SaaS companies. Like you might have heard of a company called Hype Fury. I worked as their community manager, and I had an opportunity to work with a lot of coaches consultant. One among them was actually a disciple of Tony Robbins. This is basically a group of coaches, and they are trying to manage their brand online. Okay, whether you like it or not, now you need to have your presence online. It increases your discoverability, one thing. More importantly, it increases the credibility also. Okay, so when I'm making the purchase of your product or whatever it might be, if I've already seen you on social media, either through your video or a reel or like a Twitter thread or something like that, the trust is higher, and the friction to buy it is reduced. So that is what people have discovered, and I think this is not going to stop. This is going to increase, and I'm playing a part in helping people market them on social media. So that's that. Oh, it's basically the freedom, the creative freedom that this kind of work happens. I don't want to ditch 9 to 5 job. I mean, there is a reason for that also. But if you think that there is something that doesn't suit you, and you want to have an opportunity to express your creativity either through design, either through building websites, apps, or even coaching, teaching. I think internet is giving us power, especially sitting in India. We also have currency arbitrage in our favor, so you can actually sell and earn in dollars. So that is something I wish a lot more creators to actually take it up and at least give it a shot. Even if you are 9 to 5 year and you are thinking of like like an early retirement, I would suggest why don't you give it a shot, like writing on LinkedIn or having a blog. Personal brand is enough. Like you can quickly start up a proprietorship or an LLC, whichever you prefer. Start offering your service. What you have been doing in your job, you can subsequently start offering it as a consulting service. I know the sales cycle is going to be really long, but once you get it, one of the first feeling that I got when I earned my first dollar like 2 years before is that like you feel you earned it. And especially like you rightly said, what makes me to wake up is that that freedom and that ability to express myself creatively, and how can I help others directly with my own what to say like my own self. So that is actually what is the biggest motivator for me and inspiration for me. Yeah.
That's pretty nice. Yeah. So, like my next question would be that in the industry, just right now, what would be the path for visual thinking? How do you see visual thinking to be in the next 5 years in the industry in general? Yeah.
Oh, short answer, it's going to grow. It's going to
Yeah.
extrapolate.
So, how do you see companies, leveraging visual thinking right now? In what ways? Like through your experience, how have you seen it?
So I'll give you a little backdrop. Previously, it was either inaccessible or unavailable, either in terms of technology to create. First of all, to create such visual content, either simple graphics, either you have to work with a graphic designer or you have to like go to some agencies to create that stuff. And more so, it was even more difficult to distribute that content. It was always graphic design. It has always been DTP. It's called DTP, like desktop designing. So it has never was social media distribution. Now the distribution has become far more easier. Anybody just having a mobile phone can do it. Tools like Canva, Figma, or Y Visual that we have created has made it far more easier for. So the technology has become also accessible for people to create such content. On the furthermore, agreed, there is a place for long form content. There is a place for books. There is a place for like SEO blog content or something like that. But to help people stop their scrolling and just get their attention, visual seems apparently a better way to get their attention quickly. Okay, so I think everybody are realizing that now. So TikTok is apparently a great example. I mean, that's what I was telling to my daughter. Now they can actually create their own video. Think just like not more than 10 years before, this was completely uneven, unimaginable. So I was saying like I got to have a mobile phone only when I was in college. That too, like this button phone. So the technology is rapidly
Yeah.
increasing, and the ease of creation and distribution has become easier to create any type of visual content, video or graphic or design or something like that. Especially with Midjourney and all, we are creating this beautiful designs, right?
Hmm.
This has become much more possible, and people are also consuming it far more easier. You don't need literacy. You don't need to learn to read and write. You just have to understand the spoken language. Okay,
Yeah.
so that is also reducing another layer of friction. So this is going to increase furthermore. Besides every other advantage, visual information portals. It is better to retain it. There's dual code theory where verbal and visual presented together increases our retrieval rate, comprehension, etc., etc., and all those things. And technology is adding to that. I see more and more visual content that will be placed, and I see also more and more people who will take advantage of their own unique content with visuals. Okay, I don't want, like for example in YouTube, I don't want. We are no more using Google to search, right? We are using YouTube to search thing, and we are also going after. I will watch Thomas Frank video than some other random person's notion. So we also want credibility as well. So if you can match credibility and technology with your own thing, and visual is giving that power, you will become unstoppable. That is what I would, and it is going to grow. So that's what I'm saying.
I've heard a lot about why visuals. I've seen in your LinkedIn posts as well, talking about why visuals. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about that, and what vision do you have about it in the next 5 years? Yeah.
Great. So it's a nice segue into it. Why Visual was created for uh, people who want to design but they don't have design backgrounds. So it's basically a template of visuals. Uh, Basically, those visuals were created by me for the past 2 3 years, and we basically templatized, meaning that the visual is there. Either it could be a Venn diagram or a pyramid structure or an iceberg metaphor, whatever is there, and you can add your own text into it. The texts are editable, and even you can change the background color, you can change the color of the text for your own brand. So that is what we have tried. And the beauty is that this was made using visual programming language called Bubble. So we did not write any single line of code. And
Wow.
as I said, like the technology has become so
Yeah.
fast, with the AI is also being added to it. And why visual, what we are looking at is that is built for somebody like a younger self of mine. So that's what I would say. It's a love letter to myself in some ways, where it makes you easier to create a visual quickly for your own content and subsequently distribute it so that you can increase your audience, increase your brand, and subsequently sell your offer or something like that. So vision, we are already crossed. I think we are touching 600 users. We have crossed. We are touching $1,000 LTD, and next month we are going to start a monthly plan also. So given the increases, we started as an early plan, lifetime deal, then an early plan. Now that growing interest, we are going to actually change it into monthly subscription plan also, and eventually want to scale it for where content creator, you can be a coach, you can be a consultant, and you want to make your presence felt on social media, and you want to use visuals to make your presence felt, you can use Y Visual. So that's our pitch.
That's pretty amazing. I'm definitely going to. I did check out the tool once. It felt pretty amazing. So yeah,
Thank you, thank
probably
you.
I'm going to leverage it even more. Seems
Thank
pretty
you, thank you. And
interesting.
let us know your feedback as well.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
sure, definitely. Yeah.
Great, great, thank you.
So yeah, what are some of the challenges you would say that you have faced till now being a solopreneur? Because in a team, what happens is that you get to delegate a lot of stuff, and yeah, coming to a large corporate. But being a solopreneur, usually it takes to you have to manage everything on your own. Because even I have been there, I have been into that journey.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it would be great if you can share some of the challenges that you have faced, and what are some of the tips that you would share to others to
Okay,
who are
okay.
starting
So
out.
maybe solopreneur is actually a misnomer. I'm building this Y Visual with a co-founder, and I do have a bunch of people. I work with a bunch of people who help me out. But the relationship is different. It's not an employer-employee
Right.
relationship. Okay, it's a network of experts coming together for a project. So that is how I would. So the network of expert is a concept that I learned from my mentor called Joseph Joe, and this is how I believe is going in the future. Network of experts. You are an expert in your own field. I'm an expert in my own field. We come together for a specific project, deliver the project, and we move out and do our own project. It doesn't mean that I'm not doing my own thing. I have the flexibility to do my own thing. I can do a contract job. I even do consulting. I do even coaching. So all those things. So solopreneuring means that you have flexibility to not be tied to one particular employee or an employer. So you can do multiple projects simultaneously. That's one. The second thing is that you should have like a framework on approaching it. Okay, it's not your brick and mortar business, right? You have to do a lot of content marketing, make your presence well. At the same time, it is far more easier than traditional sales. So I have not exactly been in sales, but I have been part of sales, concept selling, for example. So I was in school market. We used to go and sell to a physically to go and meet a principal or a school management team and present it. So that is far harder when you compare to you can actually sell to a client, like you can quickly sell $100 product or a service sitting at the comfort of your home. Okay, you don't
Right.
have to leave like sitting. Yes, it literally. So this is one should. Yes. Coming back to your question, solopreneuring, learn the strategy, and also the tactics, and be consistent with it. Just know that. And the only problem that I see currently is that make sure that you're not going for short wins and feeling misaligned. You might get like a $10,000 client tomorrow, but if they are not aligned with you, you will also, you might as well work in a 9 to 5 job. Okay, for
Right,
that.
right.
Yeah. So ensure that you are here so that you need the creative freedom. You want to make your presence felt. You want to impact this one. So it's okay if the $10,000 client would not work out, and say no to them, and don't enjoy it. But take a $2,000 client. Okay, you might enjoy, who might actually give another bigger project.
Yeah.
Okay, next month. That is far more lucrative, I would say, especially now. Like everybody is now online, everybody wants to sell. So that is far more sustainable way of going towards. If you're not having fun and if you're not being authentic enough, please don't do it. So make sure that strategy is fine, tactic is fine. I'm not the right person. There are enough people who are talking about that. But ensure that you are aligned internally with what you want. If that doesn't match, please don't do it. That's a really, really strong advice I want to give to all the newbie creators, aspiring creators. Yeah.
I think a lot of us always concentrate on the numbers. You know, at the beginning, the numbers are like so attractive. They don't see the bigger picture and they don't dive deeper. And they're like, they just see the number. Okay, let me just do it somehow.
Yeah,
So
it's classic, right? Sometimes we are penny wise but pound foolish. I mean, it's not. We have all been into that,
yeah.
unfortunately. I mean,
Right.
please don't make the same mistake that we would have. I think I believe Diksha, you must have also gone through that. Say sometimes it's okay to say no if you don't feel that alignment. I mean, you can't do that on an Excel sheet and hey, I'm aligned with Diksha, I'm not aligned with Diksha or something like that. You simply feel it, and if you don't feel right for it, like come on, you are taking this creator journey, you are taking this solopreneur journey to do what you want to do.
Right.
Then why to take a job or a client whom you hate working for?
Exactly.
Okay, or maybe you would have that realization later. There's no failure, right? If it is not a successful project, it's a learning. So just be intelligent in your next pitch. So that's the highest recommendation that I could offer. So yeah.
My next question would be that, how do we leverage social media to generate leads, especially for freelance, for those who are seeking out their freelancing journey and solopreneurship journey. How do you exactly leverage social media?
Yeah. First thing, I know this could be like a very generic statement for especially for an audience here. Please leverage social media first of all. Okay, like change that mindset that social media is not just for like entertainment. It could also be for entertainment, especially for we are not going to sell washing machine or a laptop through social
Right.
media. Okay, we are going to sell more like a lifestyle product, better lifestyle. So you are in a different industry altogether.
Right.
Okay, so you are not selling consumer durables or physical products. Physical products maybe like a T-shirt or something like that. But what type of T-shirt maybe?
Right.
Uh, but but you are selling more concepts. It could be a book, it could be a coaching, it could be a consulting service, like you rightly said, like digital marketing services, which are little intangible. Okay, so that is the first decision, and the best way to do is social media. Apparently, social media you can actually reach out to people who are looking, hunting for those kind of services. That's one thing. The second thing is that everybody must have told it. Start creating content. Make your presence with. Hey, look at this. I'm here. Okay, you don't want to become next Gary Vee. Okay, you can't be like Gary Vee has his own legacy, but you don't want. What you need is that you need that particular set of clients who would come to you for your unique services. Okay, for example, people come to me not because they cannot find a better solution than me. They come to me because I'm the only person who offer this kind of visual. Okay, how can you make yourself unique from the highly saturated market? For me, that information graphic. For me, that Satya I actually prefer. I don't, for example, I don't create generic brand content. I create content for the founders of a brand.
Right.
Okay, this is my unique point. I create more visually oriented content than generic long form content. So this, if you want to come here and you want to create content for a company, no, I'm no. Okay, I'm not. So like this, you find your narrow niche and be known for that niche within your circle.
Right.
Okay, Then what happens is that, thank God, touch wood, most of the leads that have come to me has been inbound leads. That so you make your presence felt. It's like you are given this wonderful free platform. You can
Right.
sit literally standing on top of the hill, and you can shout out to people saying that like, "Hey, look at me, I'm here." 100 people will hear it, of course. 90 people will turn around and walk past because you may not be the right fit. 5% of them, okay, will get your free product, download your product. They are trading their email with you or a follow with you or something like that. Okay, they have become part of your tribe loosely. Okay, then after that, out of those 5% might be interested to get something from you. They may be ready to pay $100, $1,000 or $10,000. You have to find them. So how would you ensure that they come and ask you? Either you go and ask them through DMs or something like that, or you create trust that, hey, I can offer you this. I can actually do this for you. Then you show like testimonials, social proof of your work, your portfolio, your digital assets. Do some like a free giveaway sometimes. So subsequently, it's a long game, but once you play it rightly, you'll start creating inbound leads in some ways. Yeah.
Yeah. So coming to finding the niche, right? You mentioned that someone should go with creating their own niche. So how like if you have any tips, for someone who is trying to find their niche, how would they go about that?
Oh, this is always the question that I get asked.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I have a theory. I call it as good fan versus great fan theory. So good fan means like you like certain content, you follow them. I like Jay Z. I like Beyonce. I like Ranbir. So I like Amitabh Bachchan. So these are all the content I like, and all those things. But do I want to become an actor like? So do I want to become a songwriter? Do I want to be a guitarist? No. Okay, I'm a good fan of their. I like their content, but there will be certain pieces of content that you like it so much that you want to recreate it for yourself. Okay, so for me that was Jack Butcher's visual. Okay, there's a guy called Jack Butcher. I think a lot of online creators will know. He created this wonderful brand called Visualize Value. He takes this amazing content and visually represents it in a schematic manner, not illustration, schematic manner. I became so enamored by that kind of content. What I did was I'm not a designer, or I don't have any designer background, at least 2 3 years before, and I started creating those content on PowerPoint. I liked it so much that I want to recreate it for us. So out of the 100 odd things you like, okay, there will be one of those two things that you have, that some inner urge will be there that you want to recreate it for yourself. Maybe it could be poetry for you. Maybe it could be writing a non-fiction article for you. Hey, I want to write like David Perrin. I want to write like Paul Craig. Maybe you want to write. Maybe your diary is full of those articles. Maybe you want to sketch. Okay, not just so. My best thing is that what is that thing that you naturally feel like creating based on the thing that you're consuming. Okay, so you are a great fan of that piece of material. Okay, you're not just a good fan. You're just a great fan of those piece of material. Find that, start studying those artists, like curate their content, study those. For example, I mean, I can show you share a visual by I'll show you, but I can tell you in a glimpse that I have downloaded all the 100 visualize values visual that he has created,
Wow.
and it's on my Notion. And I have categorized it. This is a Venn diagram, this is a pyramid structure, this is a metaphor. And besides that, I also downloaded Carl Richards. Carl Richards is an inspiration for Jack Butcher. He's another this one. He's a certified financial planner, and he draws like simple Venn diagrams to teach like complicated financial concepts. I like Jessica Hardy. She's another brilliant, simple, humorous Venn diagrams, and they're not artist. Okay, I'm not a great fan of artist, maybe good fan, but I'm great fan of this concept arts, so to say, like visual, this one that led me to create my own content. And finally, then I started giving that as a service for people. I started creating pitch decks for people. Then that became my niche, and somebody told me, Satya, you seem to have a knack for it.
Right.
Okay, the seem to have a knack for it. Then you started creating. Now, my current obsession is that, I of course I have visuals. I now want to create genuine, authentic content. Okay, I tried writing using templates and all those things. That is not working. But I really found that I like really liking content from an one person point of view, from my point of view. Especially, I found that, I mean, lately I'm discovering that a lot of my clients are coming to me to write those piece of content, because blog they are somehow finding a shortcut using ChatGPT or some other, something like that. But what I can help them write is share their own personal stories, their anecdotal story, and what is the lesson that could be derived. This ChatGPT can't do, and I'm finding a niche in it, and I'm loving it. I'm helping people to write authentically, helping particularly founders, solopreneurs, to make their presence felt. Their brand is second, okay, and that is what, like that. I suggest everyone to you, find what are you great fan of, what are you obsessed about, what do you authentically and naturally feel to create. Check out, like, think back your old childhood obsessions, or what do you do every day. Some people every day doodle. Do you know you can actually sell doodles? Okay, there are people like selling doodles like that. You can teach people how to do that. You can, there are people who are selling like concept called Zentangles. I'm a fan of Zentangles. Like, you can do Zentangles for mental stress and all those things. I think like everybody's going through mental stress. Like, can you teach people those things? So there is money to be made in every niche.
Right. Yes.
Okay, every niche has money to be made. The only that is set, that is given. So the only variable that you have to fix is your passion, and skill also you can develop. There are 100 YouTube videos that you can master that skill. So money, like ikigai, like, the skill is there that could be mastered. There is market for anything, literally anything, and only thing that you have to ensure is your passion. Again, it's a three Venn diagram. I can't help myself think not visually. So it's a three Venn diagram. So the only variable that you have to identify is passion. Then you can develop the skill for it. Then you can put it outside, put it out in the world. Then let's see whether the market is resonating. Okay. Then you make a business out of it. So that is what I find your ikigai. That's the short way of saying it. Don't find the niche because somebody else did it. So that is like the recipe for failure. So that's my take.
Someone could find inspiration from for passion from you itself. The way you're talking about it, we can literally see that passion in your eyes. So
Oh,
yeah, I think
oh, thank you, thank you.
yeah.
This is me, and I found that previously I was trying to be diplomatic and all those things. I realized that that's not who I am, and sooner or later I realized that if I do me, there is no competition. So there is nobody to replace. I don't have to worry about the next trend. I don't have to worry about AI taking over my job, because nothing can replace who I am, and that is the unique niche that you have to find yourself, and you just have to append it with a skill and a resonance with the market. If you can do it, you can actually make money out of it. And I recommend every Indian who is sitting here, or any creator across the world, please, you have this creative expression, please exploit it. Okay, we are entering this burgeoning creator economy. I think there was agriculture economy, then there was industrial economy, then there was knowledge economy. I think we all grew up in knowledge economy, but the creator economy is fast booming, and there is money to be made. And you can play this freelancer, service provider, sitting at the comfort of your home. You don't have to manufacture anything. You just have to create content from your mind. How it is as easy as it is, I told it, but it is also as hard it can be. The only way you can make it easier is to practice it, build momentum towards it, and finally, you'll also be monetarily rewarded for it. That is my
Yeah.
suggestion to anybody who is listening. Try it at least. If not for anything else, try it. It may happen tomorrow. It may happen next month. It may happen even after the next year. But just give it a shot, because it's simply therapeutic. Okay, it's just simply therapeutic, and just follow your passion. If not, what we are here for, right? Yeah.
Right. So, what are some of the books or resources you would suggest someone who's starting out in
Oh,
visual thinking and freelancing and solopreneurship in general?
oh, in terms of I mean, visual thinking, there is a bunch of amazing creators out there. You can simply follow their content. Sketchnote, like Jack Butcher, Visualize Value. For Sketchnote, I would suggest you to follow Mike Roddy. And there's an Indian brilliant sketchnoter, Tanmay Ora. So he's actually a leadership coach who's teaching leadership through sketchnoting. So he says that, Satya, my niche is that uniqueness. So I love sketchnoting. He also teaches sketchnoting, but it is a low, like a $5,000 course or something, 5,000 rupees course or something. It's an online course, but his actually thing is leadership coaching, and he does it for like Infosys, Aditya Birla, and all those things. And his there are thousand other leadership consultants and coaches, and he differentiates himself by teaching it through sketchnoting, and he is that unique person. So that's a segue and another add-on to our previous discussion. But more importantly, like what I suggest everybody is to try out something called free writing. This is the book that I'm reading. This is the book I'm reading for the third time. It's called Accidental Genius by Mark Levy. It's an amazing book which talks about journaling for business or creative endeavors. And in journaling, you can also create content out of it. So this is another book that I recommend. Of course, any book by Austin Kleon, Stay Like an Artist, Keep It Going. I think he has three books. Show your work. These are the three books you can start reading and appreciate it. And start following it. I think I don't have any other particular book recommendation. Start following people who you feel something is right with them. Okay, don't follow because they have 10,000 followers or 1 lakh followers. In fact, I would argue otherwise. Don't follow them because they don't have. You may not feel resonant with them because they are at another scale altogether. And most of the time, those people are selling to people who are above them. They might be selling to a CEO. They might be selling to a marketing department from a Fortune 500 company. So those are their target market. Very rarely they speak to people like us. Okay, it is better to follow people like, for example, Diksha. They can follow you. They can follow me. They can follow Smug, what you are doing, and all those things. So that they are just 2 step, 3 step before you, so that you are more easily relatable, and you can steal content from them, steal inspiration from them, and start learning and taking. So that's my suggestion.
Yeah, those are a lot actually. I'm pretty sure that people would actually watch this again and again to understand everything step by step, and a lot of value here. So
Oh, thank you.
I think now we can take on some questions from the audience maybe. I also have Abhilash from the Fueler community. He says hi. He says that he knows you, you don't know him, and he
Oh,
knows you through
hi
Ayush
Abhilash.
Chaturvedi. Yeah. Yeah, so let us check, if we have any questions from the audience. So yeah, everyone do give in your questions, leave your questions in the live chat. Satya is here to address all of them.
Uh,
Yeah,
any questions? Yeah, feel free to. I'll try to answer it from my experience.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, if I don't know, I'll say I don't know. So yeah.
I don't see a lot of questions right now. So yeah, folks, you can drop in your questions. Yeah, I think we don't have a lot of questions now. So yeah, like maybe people whenever they have any questions, if we find in the chat anytime, or they can drop in some questions later on.
Yeah,
We can
definitely.
address them later as well.
Definitely, sure.
Thanks a lot, Satya, for joining us today, and it was a wonderful session. Wonderful, talking to you and connecting with you. A lot to learn. Yeah,
Oh, thank you, Diksha, and thanks to Smart Hub for actually hosting it. I really wish more and more creators watch this and
yeah,
start their own
yes,
creative journey. So wishing all success to them. And thanks to you. Thanks for the hosting.
yeah. Thanks a lot, Satya. Have a great day.